I'm gonna need you to.
All right, for you, those of you who are veterans of Busch Gardens, this unit looks fairly similar. We also have our caddies here with our headsets, our Enchanted Labs, or Enchanted lenses, right? And of course, we will be asking the guests all to put on their seatbelts first. And then Susie's going to show you what you're supposed to do next with your Enchanted lens. I'll try to get out everybody's.
So when we designed these, we designed them so the headset would actually tip toward the person. So you're basically going to turn to your right and take the lens that's there. And it really just snaps right onto the magnets that are already on your head. And you may need to tighten it a little bit. But yeah, pretty much.
And now she's riding a ride.
Yep.
And you'll be able to look all around you, you know, the right, the left, up, down. You'll be able to see, there'll be an image everywhere. So unlike just looking at a 2D screen, it's going to be a lot more immersive. Should I keep this on for a while?
We're all going to sneak out and see how long we stay here. Yeah, well, Susie's in the virtual world. We don't exactly sure what exciting stuff she's looking at. Actually, right now it's only just a blue screen we're shooting up there. And of course, we got the still image on front. This will be a similar image to what the walk-in will be, and where you'll be walking in at. Of course, the house lights are on, not the theme lights. So really just for everybody's access.
So all of y'all who aren't in the front and can't see her head on, if you guys, once you're done, can you all move on so that we can get some more people through the front so they can actually see her facing her with the headset on.
You want me to put it on again too?
Yeah, as soon as a new group can kind of go through here in the front. Yep. All right, does anybody else want to get into the front? Anybody? All right. Yeah, if you want to come around in the front, you can get her, or if this is, okay, that's fine.
So you want me to just put it on again?
All right, yeah.
Did you guys get to hear?
Go ahead and do it again.
You want to get by? Sure. Yep. So basically, when you come in here and sit down, like Larry said, you'll put the seatbelt on first, and then you'll reach to your right, take the headset that's there, and it just pretty much snaps right in to the mask that you already have on your head. You can tighten it a little bit if you need to, and pretty much you're ready to go. You just wait and listen to what the operator tells you, and pretty much you're going to be onto the ride. So Larry, did everybody leave?
Hello?
Hello, anybody there?
Everybody's taking your picture still.
Okay, gotcha.
Look excited.
All right.
You guys get that? You guys all get that?
We can find that out for you. Right?
And then at the end, before you leave, you'll just put the headset right back in its cradle. So it's pretty easy. We think. We're hoping.
The reason we're doing a lot of this, I mean, you know, there's a lot of virtual reality systems out there. The reason we're doing it this way is we wanted to be able to drive this with a real computer instead of a cell phone, which is a lot of your VR gears and some of the other ones we've seen out there. We can get a much better image. We can and also get our frame rates up so that the image we project, we feel everybody's going to be very, very impressed with. So that's part of why we have it tethered and using the system that we are. 59 Nook computers are driving this. One for every seat.
So Larry, yeah, can you touch a little bit more on that? This is an existing motion simulator. This has been used in the park before. We modified this for this attraction.
Yeah, this flight simulator was installed. I think I've talked to a couple people. Some of you remember Questor. I remember Questor quite a bit. That was my first project here at Williamsburg, and it was This flight simulator was state-of-the-art then, it's still a state-of-the-art system. This thing, when you see it running off board, it looks like it's alive. It will move, it will dance. We can do so many things with it. Over the years, one of the things that we've been limited on is we felt that the imagery is much better off board, just like this. And so we were very limited on the motion, because anytime we try to do tip up, you lose your main screen. Well, now we have unlimited options for our motion, because now our motion systems are all on board with the flight simulator. Now we can tip, we can drop, we can turn, we can do all the things we've always wanted to do as far as the motion side goes. So it really becomes more unlimited for us.
So Jason Ambler, executive producer of Falcons Creative, he's going to talk a little bit about the media, the process that went through creating this this wonderful show.
As you can see, they're still loading it, and they're working in the back, getting this stuff all loaded in. We got started, I think, a little over a year ago. As Larry mentioned earlier, we're doing stereo 4K, 3D 4K, so 4K per eye in the VR headset. So it's also going to have some of the interactive elements that I mentioned earlier. Nathan said we should touch on that a bit more. There's going to be some interactive elements where you use your gaze to trigger events in the content. So by looking in certain directions, that will cause certain things to happen. So that's a very exciting element that we're happy to be bringing into this attraction as well.
So does that mean you kind of going to have a different experience every time?
Yes, that's very much the case. Everyone will have their own individual experience every time they ride it. So,
well, you can choose to help find the Heart of Eire or not.
yeah.
So it'll be up to everybody to choose if they want to be a helper or not.
Oh, wow.
That's really awesome.
Okay,
So-
any more questions? Or
The process for media development is, we're doing all the, feature film, state-of-the-art technology to drive this stuff, really high-power rendering and softwares. We have an amazing team, many from Hollywood and feature films, and including myself, that have come together to put this together for you guys here, and we're excited to be showcasing it here when the attraction opens.
How did you come up with the story?
The story, I think that was, it was definitely a group effort. It involved many different people. When we kicked off the project, we had a rough idea of that we knew we wanted it to be themed around Ireland, around the entire land, to incorporate with what the area development is here. We knew that we wanted to appeal to the wide age group that fits the height requirements. So we knew we needed to appeal to kids, but we also wanted to appeal to adults. We knew we needed to take advantage of the VR technology that we're putting on and the motion platform itself, that we can maximize the movements, as Larry had mentioned. So those were some of the initial parameters. Then we knew we wanted to take it into a more fantastic direction and push the visuals and push the imagery even further. And that's kind of where we started to craft a lot of the storyline based off of a lot of Irish lore. Fairies, the Slua are even in part of Irish lore. Baelor is a classic Irish, villain in old mythology and Irish mythology. So we tried to work in a lot of that Irish mythology into the adventure itself. The idea of the other world, the land you experience in the VR headset, the idea of the other world is also a Irish mythology as well. So we really tried to work in a lot of those ties to create the overall experience.
Can you touch on the significance of the main character's name and what that means?
Yeah, so even the main character's names, Addie is short for Aidnet, which means little flame in Celtic. And then also Ollie is short for Olafeist, which is the most iconic dragon in Irish lore. So we really tried to tie in a lot of Irish mythology and lore to the story to make it as authentic as possible, even to the point of we hired a lot of our voice talent from Ireland, from Dublin, to record the voices for this attraction so we could make an authentic experience.
Did you go to Ireland?
No, we did all that remote through foam patches and different methods of recording.
VR.
Google image searches work good for,
How long does it take? So like start to finish, obviously the story develops a little bit throughout, but how long does it generally take?
Well, I mean, we pretty much got started once we kicked this project off a little over a year ago.
Okay.
So that's when this whole process gets started. We go through pre-production, storyboards, visual development, concept development, character development. For those of you that were staying tuned to this project, I know we released a lot of the characters at IAPA, but even then, once you have those characters defined, it takes a lot of finesse to get everything integrated into a show like this and put in all the effects that we're throwing at this thing, which there will be a lot of different effects and high-powered elements going on in the show.
Was it difficult or a challenge to come up with a story that would fit into a 4-minute ride?
That is always a challenge. You're telling a haiku of a story. You want to get the beginning, middle, end. Luckily, in this case, we have the ability to tell some of the prelude in the pre-show that can help set up the world for you. And so by the time you get into this main theater, we're go, 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 and we're right in the middle of the story, and right in the middle of the action. So from that moment on, we really just try and crank up the volume.
Why do you think, I don't know if you can answer this, but why are people interested in VR as opposed to like traditional roller coaster?
Why are people interested in VR instead of traditional formats? Well, I think, VR is new, but it's also, by far, if you've tried VR, it is absolutely an immersive experience unlike any other. I mean, we all go to the movies and sit in dark rooms, but the fact that you can look around and you have a lot more control over what you are seeing and experiencing, it creates a much more immersive experience. You get the 3D without glasses or anything like that, and you're actually seeing true 3D. You're seeing a screen uninhibited by projectors and things like that. It's right there in your eye, so it's really dialing into what you can see. But also, I think VR is it's a new medium certainly, but it's I guess I'm losing my train of thought here.
Well, I think one thing about VR, one of the neat things about VR is we can take you to places
Yeah.
that you just cannot go.
Yeah.
And there's no other way to get you there that your senses will actually pretty much believe that you're there.
Yeah.
You're going to be, we're going to be able to put you on the back of a dragon flying through the air, at 500 feet. And you're going to look around and your eyes will tell you that, yeah, it looks about right. Your inner ear, you're going to feel motion of a wing moving. And you're going to go, yeah, this feels pretty darn close.
Yeah.
And there's no other place that you can really do that. No other medium that we can really take you there and really make your senses believe that you're there.
Could you say that again, kind of
I think-
instruction though?
One unique thing about VR is you really truly get a sense of scale unlike any other medium out there. So that is a huge component where you really feel like this door is 6 feet tall. You really understand scale and distance a lot better in a VR experience than you would in a traditional format like projected content.